A little bit about myself. I'm 58 years old. I am a retiree. I'm a grandmother of 6 and a mother of 4. I grew up in Chicago in the 1960s during the Panthers and Blackstone Range and all those days, Martin Luther King. And I spent 37 years of my life in Chicago. I was born and raised there. And then I went to Gulfport, Mississippi. I was there 7 years, and I've been in Atlanta 13 years. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, 2 sisters, one brother, and as I stated, I'm the youngest. And I think I'm the one that's, I'm a little unique, I would say. I didn't choose the education or the book knowledge or um, way of a career. I just had this inner thing in me from a kid, and I always knew I had something. I never knew what it was, but now I know it was a uniqueness. Doesn't mean that I'm better. It was just a different path that I was chosen to take, and I, didn't find it out till later on in life. I have 3 young men and 1 daughter, and have 2 sons here in Georgia, 1 in Louisiana, and my daughter's in Mississippi. And I tell you, of my 4 children, I do have the 3 boys, and they're all different. But my daughter is really, really like the princess of the family. But they're all successful. I'm so proud of all 4 of them. They all have different personalities. And I'm very proud of them. Might not be doing what I think that they should do, but they are doing things in a godly way. And they're very supportive of me, and I appreciate that. I have my son Lloyd. He's the oldest. He thinks he's my dad. So I have Lloyd, and then I have Richard, and I have Robin. Richard and Robin are here in Atlanta. Richard has been through a lot with me as far as my journey in life. He's seen me in my sickest and my lowest points, and he didn't break, and I didn't realize that he stayed strong. I have Robin. He should be the baby. He just had his first son. But my first job was actually selling ice water to the garbage men for a nickel when they come pick up garbage in the alley of Chicago. Then I babysitted for my neighbor when I was 12, but then I worked at the YMCA, which was my first paycheck job in my sister's name because I wasn't old enough. I wanted to be just independent. And so that was my very first, but in my own name, you're not going to put all this next put me in jail. But my own name, I started working at Learners in Chicago, downtown Chicago. That was an experience sales, but I just kept trying different jobs, and it really wasn't me. But where I landed at AT&T, I love to talk and I love people. And AT&T paid me for 27 years to talk, so that was my career. Lupus is an autoimmune illness where your body is always attacking itself. It's a disease that doesn't give any warning. It doesn't knock on your door and say, okay, I'm going to make you sick tomorrow. You can go to bed feeling fine. You can wake up feeling horrible. You can get up and go out and be fine. And then by 12 noon or just even an hour later, you're a totally different person. You feel like, I feel like sometimes I'm out of my body. I feel like my blood is jittering. But I just lay into it, whatever you want to do. If you want to jitter, I sit still, let it jitter. If I feel like I'm out of my body, then I stay at home where I know that at least Corliss at home. I don't know where the other part of Corliss is. So, I just make adjustments. It's just you never feel like yourself. Lupus with me started with just a pimple on my nose that would not, it was as if I had a pimple under the skin. It was very sore. It was a small little spot, but it just wouldn't come to head. Like anybody else, I started, trying to see if I can get it come to head, and it wouldn't. So I went to the dermatologist, and they did some lancing and sent me to several doctors to see if they could do plastic surgery, if they could, how could they remove this thing. And then in 2000, I would say 2008, it started, I guess I would say, eating up my skin in a sense. Where the sun, the UV rays, it cooks my skin as if it's bacon and fries it. And it removes the pigmentation, and when it heals dark, and it heals very hard. You still have the feeling of having a pimple under your skin that won't come to head, and you actually have what they call inflation. But because of the scarring, the skin is very thick, so you walk around with this inflation. You have to protect yourself from the sun, protect your eyes. can't do this, you can't do that. And it was very devastating to me. And when it, affected my hair, then it became a really big deal. So for a period of time, I lived according to those things. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. And I didn't do much. I didn't have much of a life. I went through a lot of mental challenges, physical challenges with battling this disease. But it's manageable. I think it is. And I think a lot that really helped me because I haven't been on some of the medications in the last year. What has really helped me was getting that inner peace and accepting the condition and accepting who I am and doing something about it and finding a way I can live and enjoy life.